you doing, guys? Give me 1 second. Okay, I thought I messed everything up actually. Hey Mike, TB, Julian, Salil and Matt. I'm doing well. Hey Bal. Hey Peter, Eric, Lenny, Jennifer and Stephen and Sam. How are you doing today, guys? Hey Bitang. It will take me just 1 second to start streaming this on YouTube. Actually, I'm already streaming it, but I forgot to open YouTube channel, which is bad. Okay, everything is ready now. Break even for a reversal now. Okay, that's not bad. Break even is always good. By the way, yesterday, for those who are trading reversals, I did a quick backtesting on my strategy, and I noticed it's working the best between 9:30 and 11 a.m. After 12, it's the worst. I have a lot of losses after 12, but still working, but still a lot of losses at the same time. And I could tell why. After 12 or maybe after 11, yeah, sometime maybe after 12, market is slower, right? You see that at the open, let's get NVIDIA for example, okay? You see that at the open, moves are so crazy. You see they could go for 5, 10, 15 minutes. And this is why open range breakouts are really rewarding at the open, trading in the first 5, 10 minutes. Because they just move. They go and they can make a huge move right there. And after a huge move, it's always expected that a pullback is going to happen. And look what happens after 11, just... It starts trading slowly, right? It's close to the moving average, it's close to view up. It could start downtrending or trending, but it will not be that extended. So I think I'm adding one more rule for these reversals. I'm trading them mostly the first hour and a half. After an hour and a half, I will trade only if I see that the scanners are calling any stock for a reversal, because when the scanner is calling something to reverse, it's mostly making this type of price action, and we want stock to be so extended before we're taking a parabolic reversal on it. You could try to take it for a reversal after 3 consecutive candles, but mostly it will just make small move to the 9-moving average in the 5-minute chart or closer to it, and the risk to reward is not so great on them. You might get subbed out 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and then finally catch a good trade which will give you 3 or 4 hours, but it's not really worth it. So yeah, I think I'm going to focus on them the first hour and a half the most. After that, only if the scanner is calling them, or only if I have these type of price action there. I'm not using a software to backtest. I'm using a... what is that? Let me actually do that quickly. I'm not using a software to backtest. I'm using my journal, and I do that manually right there. Okay, perfect. Anyway, let's start with the trade review. I just exited most of my position, by the way, on Walmart right here. I have around 30 shares left. I will just hold them for the sake of holding. This trade, by the way, guess who called this trade? You will never expect it. Someone who is so quiet and never is doing any calls for us in the chat room. And he's a moderator as well. Can you guys do a guess? And when I'm saying guess, it should be literally unexpected. So you have only one attempt to guess. No, Carlos could call something. It's ABL. ABL told me that Walmart is setting for a reversal, and I just decided to take a look at it and look at the 15-minute chart. 200 moving average is literally holding right there. New 15-minute high. Look at the 5-minute chart going up, pulling back. And remember what we said? Stocks, they could trade within the range of the 5-minute candle, right? As long as it's still above the higher high, within the 5-minute candle, it's still good. So I just decided to take it on the pullback. It made a new 15-minute high right there. Taking it to the long side, that was my stop loss down here. just taken most of my position out here, and I still have 30%, and I'll hold those 30% all the way to view up. So thanks for Abiel. So yeah, a lot of talking here, unnecessary talking, unfortunately, and let's start with the trade review and see how you guys did today. Lenny traded JD. So let's take a look at JD. You traded JD for parabolic reversal, I assume? Right, Lenny? Yeah, the fill was horrible, I agree with you. And with that fill, I would have also been nervous because the risk to reward just got messed up. Look at these guys. Imagine you are taking it to the long side exactly at the new high and having your stop loss below this candle right here. Now, this is a good stop loss with a good risk to reward. And this would be a great reward all the way to view up, or even the 200 will give you around 2 hours. Unfortunately, you get a really bad fill. The risk to reward got messed up, right? You know that it could just not make it for you, and you decide to exit for a small loss. I might have done the same thing right there. Not a bad decision you did to exit trade earlier. Now, one thing though, why would you not take this trade, guys, if you were looking at it? Because I was watching JD as well, and I saw this candle, but I didn't take it for one reason, for a reversal. So could you guys tell that reason? Look at the 5-minute chart, look at the 1-minute chart. Something is disturbing between the entry and the target. Couple of things actually. Exactly, Lenny, that's smart. So yeah, I hate having a horizontal moving average between my entry point and my target, and I hate having view up between my entry and my target. So here we're having a horizontal moving average and we are having view up. Still with an early entry, if you decided to go to the horizontal moving average and then go against you, you could always exit at break even, right? So with an early entry, you could just ignore this rule right here. And the second thing, it wasn't that extended, at least from view up, right? Just look at this. It's not so far right there. It just did a 1-minute open range breakdown. It could just go to view up and then drop back down. If your target was view up with this early entry, then it's fine. If not, I would have avoided it. I just thought that it will not give me the risk to reward I want to have. Looking at the 5-minute chart, it was definitely so good. It was just dropping down with literally no pullbacks right there. But those candles, they were so small, right? And then finally, this is the big candle, and this is what I love. Like this candle right here, once it started dropping, I would have liked it here. What I don't like is the hammer with the red body. I don't go to the long side after a hammer with the red body, big red body. And I don't go to the short side after a shooting star with wide white body. So this reversal I would have missed, but it worked out amazingly well right there. Still, you managed it well, and just got unlucky with your fill. So B-Tang, let's see what you did. Sam, if you can send that screenshot to the off-topic chat so that I don't miss it, please. And guys who are new here, and if you want us to review your trades, just make sure to send your trades, at least the 1 and the 5-minute chart, and we'll try to take a look at them together. I mean, do you always have hard stops 100% of the time? Yes, exactly, 100% of the time. So let's see SRNE. What do you trade? Traded a parabolic reversal. The indicator was that the price was extended from view up and the 9 moving average, right? So look at the 5-minute chart, guys. I'll zoom it in after that. Entry at 9:42, it was at a new 1-minute high. There were 3 dojis. Stop loss was below the body of the last doji. Wanted to get a 4-to-1, got 1-to-1. Okay. Thoughts, I messed up my entry, did try it 2 times and both got subbed out since I'm using Cal's dynamic hotkeys. My shares are dynamically calculated. Not sure I should keep using it. I honestly use Cal's hotkeys on all of my reversals. I think those are really important hotkeys. They're really good. They do the calculation for you. You will always have fixed stop loss, and if you win, you will get 3 Rs or 4 Rs, which is bigger than what you're going to lose. One thing though, make sure you're having a technical level for your stop loss. If it's not a technical level, it's easy to get stopped out, right? We'll get to your entries, and I remember this trade because I missed this move. I'm glad you actually caught it eventually. My first partial is not okay. Should have stick to my plan and only partial at the moving averages. Okay, so let's take a look at these guys. I'll zoom it in to the 5-minute chart first, okay? You see the 5-minute chart? 2 big 5-minute candles, and it's extended from view up, extended from the non-moving average on the 5-minute chart. The closest pivot point we have is here. Right, so there is literally nothing on your way all the way up there. So this is perfect on the 5-minute chart. Now that you see it's extended from the 9 on the 5-minute chart, and by the way, SRNE was also called in the scanners, multi-strategy scanner yesterday, you go and take a look at the smaller time frames, which are the 2-minute chart and the 1-minute chart. What do we want to see? We don't want to see a hammer with a red body candle, right? So on this new high, I would avoid it. Now that I'm seeing a doji with a white body candle, it's perfect for a reversal. We're taking it to the long side and putting our stop loss technically either here, one of the two. My bad yesterday, I used the low of the body as my stop loss, and if you are following me on Twitter, you'll see that I actually got stopped out here and I missed all this move because I used a bad stop loss and because I didn't re-enter, which was stupid of me. So you're taking it to the long side. This first stop loss was so tight, it was even within the body of the candle. We don't want to have stop losses within the body of the candle. Like, the tightest thing you could do is 1 cent or a couple of cents below the body, but within the body of the candle, that's so tight, I don't really recommend it. Now you are getting stopped out, right? And notice the wicks, right? Every time it's just wicking down, it's wicking down, it's wicking down. Looking that it did actually wick 3 times already, I could expect it to wick 4th time. Like, why not? 5th time, why not, right? It already wicked 3 times. So in this case, I will not use the low of the body. There is no reason to have stop loss at the low of the body when it did actually break it a couple of times right there. So the best thing to do, definitely not the low of the day. The low of the day, you'll get slippage if it's breaking it. Use the next closest wick you have, which is here. So this would have been a decent stop loss right here. If you are entering on this candle, you are entering on this candle, use the low of this wick. You are entering on this candle, use the low of this wick. Okay? But definitely not entering here and using the low of the body, or entering here and using the low of the previous body, because that is so tight, and that's why you get stopped out 2 times. Next time you're entering and it's finally working, but so early partials, right? Eventually you get 3 Rs realized on this move right here, and you ended up 1 R net, which is good. You still made up for the losses, but you definitely want to hold on for your winner when it's working out. I like the partial. It's actually close to the non-moving average in the 5-minute chart. Not so bad. But yeah, the risk to reward was not there, definitely. Anyway, you still managed to make a winner out of it. A little bit of problem on stop losses, and I also had a problem on stop loss on this trade. Other than that, you did really well. I mean, my understanding is the hotkeys only work if you have IB. They work even if you have CMEG, but you need to change the road. And they work on simulator as well. So let's see the HPAC. What did you trade? Traded Roku, and I see it's for a parabolic reversal. Now you see, like, we just talked about it. So guys, I will let you tell me, why wouldn't I take this Roku trade, like this one here? I just mentioned that rule. Exactly. So if the stock is going to the upside and it's so extended, even if it's extended, if I see that there is a shooting star or reverse hammer with a wide bodied, right, with a green wide body, I would avoid taking it to the short side. This entry, it was decent, and there is a reason for that. You had a fake breakout, bouncing off a daily level with slightly increasing volume, making a new 1 minute low. So this entry was good. I'd have waited a little bit more. And can you guys tell me why I would have waited for this candle to close before I take my entry? Something I also mentioned. I actually highlighted a small reason. It's a new exception I made for this reverse where I don't really need to see a reversal candle. It's sort of a setup. Sometimes you want to see a reversal candle and then a new low. Exactly, Lou. Perfect. What do we have? We have 4 bar play. This is not exactly an A plus 4 bar play, but it's still a 4 bars within a range, right? Now that we're having the 4 ranges, it's green, red, green, red. We want to see that this red is closing and then see a new low. This would have been a good entry to the short side. Plus, we're having a double shooting stars on the 2-minute chart and a new low. This would have been perfect. And on a 4 bar play, you don't need to put your stop loss at the high. Just put it somewhere in the middle. This is the only time where I could put my stop loss within the candle on a 4 bar play after it breaks down. So yeah, this would have been it. Still a good trade. You pre-entered it a little bit, but still, it's good. Partialing at view up, exiting the rest at break even. So yeah, this was a good trade right there. Now let's see Sebastian. So Sebastian traded, what stock is this? SE, and this was today. You traded this thing to the long side and got stopped out, and long side and got stopped out another time, I would assume. So the daily chart on SE, it's gapping up and it's at all-time high. Looking at the daily chart, I'm definitely more long bias than short bias because it's all-time high. It could break out and then it could just run, right? This is what happens in stocks all-time high. There is no resistance above you. It could just run and run and run with nothing above you. Now, looking at the 5-minute chart, this is the 5-minute chart. It broke out nicely, got almost engulfed, formed an engulfing crack setup, right? So it's breaking down. This is an engulfing crack. You're having the range of the 5-minute candles, and then it's cracking the 5-minute range. People taking it to the short side here, which is here, right? And then go for that move down here. Now, dropped a lot right there. Not a parabolic reversal here. I would not call this parabolic reversal. It's sort of an ABCD pattern or trend continuation. But still, looking at a reversal candle right there, it's making the move to the upside. And you are taking it to the short side, as you said. The first one was the short, right? You wanted to get in for a 5-minute opinion range breakdown. But look at this. Enough reasons not to take it to the short side. First of all, stock at all-time high, right? I want to trade the 5-minute opinion breakdown. Okay, stock is at all-time high. Definitely long bias on it. Looking at the 15-minute chart or at the 5-minute chart, you see that there is a moving average which is sloping up. And the moving average, it's an average. It could go closer to it, it could touch it, it could break below it a little bit and bounce out of it, right? So this is a moving average. It's telling you that this might be an average bounce off. These are really strong support levels and resistance levels. It's going to it and it's closing as a hammer above it. On the 1-minute chart, you're having 200 moving average again, right? Then it's making a new high. What I like about what you did, you were not afraid getting into the short side on a green candle because you wanted to get into the short side as close as possible to the resistance. You didn't chase it. You didn't take it to the short side here, here, or here. That's really smart, and I like that the most. However, we need to think or to try to figure out whether this is just a pullback, right? Or it's actually a reversal on a strong chart, bouncing off strong support for continuation to the upside. Something which I love to say, the end of the pullback is the moment it makes a new low, right? Where is the new low? Where is the new low? Here. So if you are like so stubborn and you want to take it to the short side, at least need to wait for a new low. New low is never enough. only new 1 minute low, but it's the least thing we would want to see right there. Getting stopped out here, re-entering there, and then it works out. Just this is the least thing. We definitely don't want to take it to the short side on the way up or when it's making higher lows or higher highs. We want to see it actually failing finally and start to drop down. A new 1 minute low is the least thing we want to see. Better seeing a new 5 minute low when you see that actually failing. Right? You see this flat resistance right there. Fake breakout. And where is this fake breakout, guys? On the 1 minute chart? We could just assume it, right? Somewhere here. That's the fake breakout. Then it's coming back down, forming a bear flag pattern on the 1 minute chart. Look at this. This is how we want to trade these patterns, right? We want to see a setup on the 5 minute chart, which is failing up, making a fake breakdown, making a new 5 minute low. Along with that new 5 minute low, we're having a bear setup. Bear flag setup down here, right? And along with that, we're having a bullish engulfing sandwich. The bullish candle gets engulfed by 2 red candles, right? And making a new 1 minute low. Just combine it all together. You see double setups here. You see a new 5 minute low here. You see a fake breakdown up there. A lot of stuff which are confirming the entry you wanted to take. And you could just re-enter for a short right here. Now, taking it to the long side here, like here, also wasn't still the best in my opinion. I see why you took it to the long side. It was an ABCD pattern on the 1 minute chart, on a strong chart on the daily, after an engulfing on the 5 minute chart, right? This is not the best and not the worst. It's just one. I definitely like this trade more than this one because at least you had small consolidation above view up. You had the wicks below it, which are showing you that this setup could be really strong. You have almost a new 5 minute high, and you had an engulfing setup. So yeah, this was decent. It wasn't really bad. I would have really waited a little bit more just for more confirmations, at least a W shape or something like that, because I want to make sure that this is not a reverse ABCD pattern and it's actually an ABCD pattern. I would have just waited for more confirmation, but still, this was good. This is not bad. You tried it and it just fell. This one, I would have just totally avoided. Still, good job on how you manage those trades. Only -2 hours. You will definitely catch something better next time. So, Hans, see your trade. You're welcome. Hans traded RKT for a parabolic reversal, I would assume. I don't see the triangle here on the 5 minute chart, but looking at the time on the 1 minute chart, it was somewhere here. 54, it was on this candle actually, yeah. Anyway, look at these guys. 1, 2, 3. 3 consecutive 5 minute candles. It's getting so extended from the 9 moving average on the 5 minute chart. It's around 60 cents, right? Which is around 2.5%. Yeah, around 2.5%, 2.8 to 2.7%. At the high of the day, it's closing as a reverse hammer or shooting star. After that, it's making a new 1 minute low. This would have been my entry. I would have waited for this candle to close just to make sure it's closing like that. Looking at your entry, I assume you took it to the short side a few seconds before the candle closed, so you were sure it's going to close like this, which is still decent. Stop loss. Where would be your stop loss, guys, here? Those who are trading this setup. Exactly, the HPAC. That's what I would have used. I would have used half of the week in this case as my stop loss, not the high of the week. The high of the week is never my stop loss. If we had a wick here, that would be my stop loss. If you had this candle wicking up a little bit and then coming back down, this would be my stop loss. Since this is the same level as the body and this started dropping down immediately, instead of having this stop loss because this is so tight, I will just give it half of the wick just to give it some room. A little over half, still good. Still good. Whatever works best for you, right? Dropping down, taking some partials at the 9 moving average in the 1 minute chart. On the 5-minute chart, it actually dropped closer to the 9 on the 5, right? It's not always getting to the 9 on the 5. It could just be closer to it. It could touch it and could go below it. You took your precautions, just took the partial, and it just came back up. So yeah, not a bad trade. I would have held on to it, and I would have been stopped out as a loser on this setup. Kevin, it's in the forums. Once we're done with the trade review, I will send you that post to Kyle's hotkeys trade. Perfect. So let's see what you traded here. Again, whose trade was this? JC. Yeah, it's JC. So what did you trade? You traded gold on a gap up after a gap down. Indicators, it was on a clear uptrend on the day earlier in the pre-market, but some resistance below $30. Okay, pull back 50%, so you traded it for an ABCD pattern, right? It's going up, it's giving you a 50% pullback of the whole move. First pullback on the 5-minute chart. So looking at these guys, it's going up. And what's the pullback? The pullback is the moment it's making a new 5-minute low. That's why it's a pullback, right? It's the first new 5-minute low right there. 2R or plus definitely feasible. So looking at his entry and his stop loss, the 2Rs below the high of the day would have been easily achievable. So yeah, this is a good entry right there. Volume, not exhausting. Level 2 with significant orders on the tops. Not directly into roadblock. So there were levels and his target was below the big orders, which is also a good thing. Price action tested the non-moving average on the 5-minute chart. By the way, yesterday I think I traded gold to the short side. I don't really remember where, but let's see. Oh, this is the 5-minute chart here, and this is the 5-minute chart here. Stop loss below view up the 5-minute chart. Entry after it did a new 1-minute high. Wanted to get 2 Rs, but unfortunately it got you stopped out. Now let's see. So I like this. It's decent. One thing I don't like around here, or two actually. So let's see what you guys are going to tell us. I mean, the setup was solid. On the 1-minute chart, it's going up, it's dropping down, making a new 1-minute high. But there is something which would have a little bit prevented me from rushing, taking it on the first new 1-minute high. Anyone? It's basically on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, I would wait for a W shape. And why would we wait for a W shape? Exactly, engulfing the 5-minute chart. That's it. So first of all, you're having a level right here, right? 1317. It's going all the way to the daily level and starting to drop down all the way to view up. Now I like that it's pulling back and going to view up. But the type of the pullback is also important, right? Look at the 5-minute chart. It just got into the daily level. On the very next candle, it got engulfed, right? On the way of the pullback here, when it's dropping down, making a reverse ABCD pattern, dropping down. So what would prevent it from making another small pullback and a continuation to the downside? Because of that, I would prefer waiting to see that this here is going to fail. If it's making this and dropping, I would avoid it. If it's pulling back, making a higher low and coming back up, then I would take it. Or I would wait for it to break this level right here, 1317, which was the previous at 940 high, and then go with it to the long side. So yeah, this is what I would have just done to make sure that it's working. The 5-minute chart engulfing and a new 5-minute low, which was just a little bit scary. And if you see right here, it could have been an ABCD pattern to the long side, right? And it could have been also a reverse ABCD pattern, which it actually was, to the downside. Even a new 5-minute high would have just prevented me from taking it to the long side, yet at least. Still, yes, it wasn't perfect. It was a decent setup. Why is that? Because you waited. You didn't chase it on the way up. You waited for it to pull back. You waited for the new high, which was your entry. You had a really tight stop loss right there. Unfortunately, it did get you stopped out after that. I think it did give you the risk to reward you wanted to get 1305, right? It went all the way to 1305 or 1305, somewhere here. Yeah, so it did give you the risk to reward, but you didn't take any partials right there. So yeah, the setup was decent, not the best, but it was great. And I like your patience and waiting for the confirmations you need before taking the setup. Yeah, they are a little bit complicated, but I'll tell you why I like ABCD patterns. When you are trading ABCD pattern, you are trading the trend. You are going with the trend, right? And you are not trying to catch a reversal. You just need to catch the right entry with this trend, and you can hold on to it really well. So yeah, you missed it here, but imagine if you were able to catch it here, or if you were able to catch it here after this bearish engulfing sandwich right there. So it's dropping down. We want to make sure that it's not making a reverse ABCD pattern, right? And that it's actually making an ABCD pattern to the upside. You see that it's making a bullish engulfing pattern after it made a new 5-minute low right here. Coming back up, you could take it to the long side on this setup. And why do I like this setup right here? Do you see, guys, the pointer? Anyone? Can you see, guys, the pointer? That I'm drawing something ugly here? Okay, perfect. So yeah, this could be an ABCD pattern, right? You assume that this was an ABCD pattern. Now, this could also be a reverse ABCD pattern. B, C, D, right? Now, it's continuing to drop down. So this could be a reverse ABCD pattern, or it could be an AB, this level here, C, the new high is D, right? So you could look at it anyway. So only having an ABCD pattern is not enough. You need more confirmations to have to your direction. Now looking at gold right here, first of all, it's on a strong uptrend on the daily chart. It's closer to all-time high if I'm not wrong. In the pre-market, it was holding above VWAP. It was holding above all the moving averages. It did a really good move to the upside. Bounce of the daily level, started dropping down. Look, we're having a moving average which is sloping up, which is the 50 moving average, which is the strong moving average, right? It's holding this moving average and it's coming all the way to VWAP. Now, this doesn't mean that you should take it to the long side only because it broke VWAP. This is not enough, right? Yes, you might be right. Just combining the price action in the pre-market and look at this. These moving averages are sloping up. So I bet in the pre-market it was something like this, right? So on the bigger picture, it's still forming an ABCD pattern, but that doesn't mean that you should try to catch every new high right there. This way you'll just catch a lot of losses before you catch the new winner. You need more informations or more confirmations or more setups before you get your entry. Looking at this here, why do I like it? It's bouncing off the 50 moving average. It's coming back above VWAP. It's good, still not decent, right? You see, it's making a new 5-minute low. Now, this is something I really love. Let me zoom it in. It's making a new 5-minute low right here. But after making a new 5-minute low, it's not going lower. On the next candle, it gets engulfed, right? So this is good. What do we have here? We're having a bullish setup, which is a bearish engulfing sandwich, along with a BCD pattern on bigger time frame, right? Along with a stock which is uptrending on the daily chart or strong on the daily chart, taking it to the long side with the trend, right? We're going with the trend. We're not going for a reversal and we're not going for a trend counter trading, right? You take it to the long side, and if you catch the good entry, what's the best thing about ABCD pattern and about the move, about the trend trading, is that you can get into a really huge move with no fear of pullbacks. This is the best thing about ABCD patterns and trend trading. When you are going into reversals, you don't know how much it's going to drop down. Is it going to go all the way to VWAP? Is it going to go all the way to the 20 moving average? Is it going to go only to the 9 moving average and then go against us. This is the difficult thing when you are going against the trend. When you're going with the trend, those pullbacks are not scary, because every time it's making a pullback, it's making a higher low, and as long as it's making higher lows, the trend is still good. In worst cases, you will exit the rest of your position the moment it starts making what? Lower high and lower low. This would be the moment where actually the trend started changing, and where you would want to exit your last partial. So you are getting into a good entry, higher high, dropping down, higher high, higher low, higher high, getting back into the lows, which is a bad sign. Definitely take some partial or exit or stop adding to your position. Hey Tom, I'm from Russia. So let's go to the next trade. This actually took us a lot of time here, but I hope that was helpful. So Lou, let's see what you did there. Lou traded Uber, and you traded this thing for a parabolic reversal. Now look at these guys. Uber, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles with no pullbacks, right? The next candle closed as a hammer. Now this is actually showing me that there is finally some buying pressure happening right there. Next thing I love is the hammer, which happened after the shooting star, or the reverse hammer, not shooting star, sorry. Shooting star happens on the end of the day. We're having climactic volume. Look at this volume in comparison to the average volume we have, right? Another hammer and a new 1 minute high. This was really good, having your stop loss at half of the week, and it's getting you stopped out, unfortunately. Could try it one more time right here, and I would have tried it one more time right there, because this was a fake breakdown followed by 2 hammers. Either catch a partial and exit the rest at break even, or get stopped out again. Continue watching it. Why? Because it's still extended from the 9 and the 5. It still did no pullback right there. It will do a pullback, right? What do we have? We have an engulfing right here. I don't love taking parabolic reversals after engulfing, so this candle right here, I'm not taking it to the long side. But looking that it was followed by a hammer, now this is a candle I like. I would try to catch it on the new high right there, and finally the third attempt works out. If you hold at least for 3 hours on this setup, though it's giving you way more when it's working out, you will still be profitable on this trade. But yeah, this was totally fine. Didn't work out. Good job on this trade. Let me take the headphones out. So whose trade is this? JC Nvidia. Let's take a look at it. So looking at this, you tried to catch another ABCD pattern, and this was decent, right? What do we have? We're having Nvidia, which made a strong move to the upside, right? Starting to pull back down there. What I don't like about this, it would have been so scary for me, are the wicks on the 5-minute chart. Every time it's getting pushed back down, and getting pushed back down. Looking at the 2-minute chart, I like it for one reason. Look at this. Same thing. Selling pressure right here, selling pressure right here. Finally closing as a doji, making a fake breakdown. Let me zoom at this actually. Look at this. Making a fake breakdown. Looking at this, I will be so into a parabolic reversal. It's making a new low. Take it to the short side. This is what I used to do, but I'll tell you now why I'm not doing it anymore. A new rule to those reversals. So taking it to the short side. Happy that it's going in my favor. Immediately getting me squeezed, and it just getting me stopped out. So one rule I added to my parabolic reversal, and I think it will be helpful for everyone. Don't take parabolic reversals after more than 6 minutes of consolidation on the 1-minute chart. Okay? The best parabolic reversals happen when the stock is going up, giving you a reversal candle or couple of reversal candles, or maybe small double top on the 1-minute chart. You take it to the short side, and then it works out. If it's going up and then it's just consolidating on the top, even if you see good candles right there, 1, 2, 3, just avoid it. Don't take it, because it just doesn't work a lot. You could just take it on the new low. It will make that fake breakdown and then get you squeezed up. This happening a lot. So after 6 minutes of consolidation on the 1-minute chart, if you're interested in taking it to the long side, you could try it to the long side. Know that the breakout will happen, but you never know how strong the breakout is. But definitely better taking it to the long side rather than trying to catch a parabolic reversal on it. And look at this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 minutes of consolidation. That's actually too much. I might have actually tried to take it to the short side here, wanted to take it to the short side here, but look at this. This is already like too much right here of consolidation. Still decent. If you try to catch it here to the short side, it's not the worst because we're having a double top, right? Not only consolidation. It's actually a triple top, which I don't like. It's starting to ascend or descend. Anyway, this entry right here wouldn't have been the worst, but if it's getting you subbed out and you plan on watching it for long, then it's not a bad idea right there. That's why I love this setup. And yeah, for everyone, if the stock, even if you don't trade parabolic reversals and you're trading trends, this is actually a good tip. If the stock is just consolidating for more than 6 minutes, you definitely don't want to catch it on the after 2 or 3 minutes of this huge of a move. But after 6 minutes, 5 minutes, you could just continue watching it for a trend continuation, like JC did right here. So yeah, good entry, good breakout, held on to this one. And you see why it's good to go with the trend? As long as it's making higher lows, look at this. As long as it's making higher lows, unfortunately, this started making a lower low, but still no lower high, right? This doesn't mean anything. Look at this. Low, high. Low, high. Then we're having a low and a high, right? Then it's making a low, still no lower high. If it did this, now this is a good signal to exit. But look at this, the high is still higher. Then you're having what? A low and a high, a low, and look at this. You see that signal? Just looking at the lower lows and lower highs, you could get a feel when this thing is going to drop. You see this high? It's the first lower high we have. Just look at the highs. First high, second high, third high, fourth high, fifth high, sixth high. This is a double bottom here, a double top right here. Just the first indicator that this thing can finally drop. This is a lower low, right? Just to see how clear this is. Then you're having a lower high. So finally, this is the first lower low and lower high. And this is the place where you could just try your luck for a reversal. And this actually works out. Just looking at those lower lows and lower highs. But yeah, good job on this trade. And I like that long right there. Adham, let's see what you traded there. Adam traded SRNE. Let's take a look at what you did there. Traded this thing to the long side. And look at these guys. This is just something we just mentioned, right? Yes, it's making an ABCD pattern to the upside. It's giving you a hammer on the 1 minute chart, which is a good confirmation, on the 5 minute chart, which is a good confirmation candle. You are taking it to the long side, assuming that this is an ABCD pattern to the upside, but you never know if it actually started forming a reverse ABCD pattern. For that, we need to see that W shape. Now, this candle is good, amazing. The moment we're having a new 5 minute high, that's our entry, and hopefully it shoots up. If it's not doing that and it's actually breaking the C level, A, B, C, D, and it's breaking the C level, you could actually try it to the short side, have your stop loss at a new 5 minute high, and just go for the move. It's making you the move. Yeah, it's actually recorded, Claire, on YouTube, and it will be saved on YouTube. So anyone who wants to watch the review or make some notes, you can find all the trade review sessions recorded on YouTube. Was it a good entry? So theoretically, this is an ABCD pattern. Yes, you're so patient, waiting for the hammer, waiting for a new 5 minute high and taking it to the long side. It is, for a classic ABCD pattern, it's enough, not bad. I just don't take it to the long side after a parabolic drop on the first new high. I want to see a wave forming a higher low, which would be my entry right there. Was that clear? Let me actually see Walmart. I'm in that trade for like forever. And I think I might just sell it. I'm just doing that extreme reversal webinar. Okay, Walmart actually made it to view up, right? So yeah, that's enough. No need to greed. Let me sell all here. And that's it. So yeah. So by the way, Walmart, this was an extreme reversal. This is not a parabolic reversal, guys. Since we have 10 minutes left, let me explain this trade for you. And again, this was a Bill's call for Walmart. And as I told you, there are reversals which are parabolic, and there are reversals which are extreme. And some are actually asking me sometimes, what's the difference between a parabolic reversal and between a climactic reversal? Guys, looking at the chart, can you tell me where is the parabolic reversal here? And then I'll explain it. So at what time there was a parabolic reversal? 10:30. Perfect, Lou. Why is that, guys? You're having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 6 consecutive 5-minute candles which are going down, and after a huge drop there must be a pullback. We try to catch it to the long side somewhere there if we have a good reversal candle. If we have that, we go in. And what's our target, guys? Our target ideally is the 9-moving average in the 5-minute chart, closer to it, at it, a little bit above it. It's an average, it's not precise, so I start usually taking partials below it. And then that's it. This is the parabolic reversal. You don't go for reversal all the way to view up. The stock is more weak than it's strong. It's just trending down, right? You don't want to just catch the first high and hope that it's going for you to view up. That's so rare to happen. It could happen, but that's so rare. Let's take a look at the 1-minute chart. Unfortunately, on the 1-minute chart, there was no reversal candle. So this parabolic reversal would have been missed right there, okay? Now, an extreme reversal is a reversal where you go to the long side and your target is view up and above view up. And for an extreme reversal, you need to make sure that the downtrend is actually done. What are the signals which are telling me that the downtrend could be done? First of all, we're having a pre-market level down here. This was the pre-market low. Second thing, you are having a 200 moving average on the 15-minute chart, which is a really strong moving average. Third thing, you are having double reversal candles on the 5-minute chart. Another indicator, you are having a fake breakdown, right? People would assume that this is sort of a descending triangle, it's some pattern, it's a breakout of the low of the day. We take it to the short side at the breakout, just to be surprised that on the very next minute or very couple next minutes, they are just getting stopped out on this thing, right? Now look at this. That was not enough for me. Taking it to the long side here was not enough. And why is that, guys? I'll tell you why. We're having a high, we're having a low, we're having a high, we're having a low, and I was afraid that it will go up, make a lower high, and then continue dropping down. I wanted to see that it's actually going to go up, or going to, at least for the first time, close above the 9-moving average on the 5-minute chart, and it did that. It closed above the 9-moving average on the 5-minute chart, right? Now, everything is good. The 15-minute chart had sort of a reverse ABCD pattern there. It finally closed as a 15-minute doji, right? Look at the 13-minute chart. It closed as double reversal candles right there. And I wanted to just confirm and make sure it's going to make a new 15-minute high. This was the 11:25 candle or 11:30 candle. The moment it closed, this candle closed and this candle closed. Now what I wanted to see is a new 15-minute high. Once it made it, once it just started holding it a little bit, I'm taking it to the long side, having my stop loss down there. And what's my target? My target is view up. With this stop loss here, this was a good risk to reward for me. Just take some partial or most of my position out. Because I'm not patient, it's bad. And just left around 30 shares to go all the way to 135.50. So yeah, that was it. What about the 945? Would you consider that parabolic reversal? Let's take a look at 945. 945. Just looking at the 1-minute chart, not looking at the 5-minute chart, I see that there is a horizontal moving average in the way. I would not really like it for a long anywhere here. Only because of that horizontal moving average, and it's already like breaking my rules right there. So yeah, that's it, guys. Do you have any questions? If not, Thor is going to be in the chat room in 10 minutes. If you guys have any questions, you can always email me, ayman@beerbletraders.com. Guys on YouTube, this is my email. If you have any questions, you don't need to be BBT members. Just feel free to ask. I'm always happy to help everyone. Have a great day, everyone, and see you in the chat room. And wants us to look at RKT. Let's take a look at Rocket. Do you think it's a long now? No. Look at this. This is a parabolic reversal actually. You see these guys? Stock is making a huge move. 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, 4 consecutive candles. Making a new 5-minute low. Unfortunately, no reversal candles on the 1-minute chart. Going all the way to the 9-moving average on the 5-minute chart. What could happen here? It could either go up or it could be a reverse ABCD pattern to the downside. This is when we actually want to see a W shape. This is the first thing. The next thing, I don't like it because this is already like third leg to the upside. I would assume that this is the first breakout, second, and this is the third, and I don't love taking ABCD patterns on the third leg ups. It could work out, but I just personally avoid it. So yeah, that's it. See you in the chat room, everyone. Have a great day, and don't overtrade. Respect your rules, and see you later. Mm-hmm.